Just back there. Yeah. They're on.
So anyway, I was thinking.
They got a detention pond out there. Yeah.
Last summer, they get away from me. Okay.
Get rid of all that and have to go to an actual sewer system, which means they'll have to be annexed. The closest city gets into those cities.
You got the guy from.
So,
Well, I was on that. Everything I need to help. Oh, you on that. Parents never had. No, you oh man, I'm just never saw that.
yeah, that's for this. I don't think anybody ever really answered that often. I don't know what it is.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Thank you, Mayor. You know.
Well, that, like all panel, so it was like.
It's the whole. Thank you. Well, we could do that. We can pull it on.
I've got to go.
It's about to. Where you can find this. Except for right here, because they're gonna be,
Oh.
well, depending on how many. Which one is it? It's on the, okay.
It's the HP. It's in the D, there should be an HPS. The HPS is in there.
Right here.
Yes. And we'll have to query on government efficiency. Probably have to, search, do the search, or,
Well, not if you, oh, did I pass it? No. I said yes, I said it's a G, not a J.
You're going a little too fast.
Yeah, here we go.
Right there.
If I have it up.
Taskforce.
yeah, that's it. You got good eyes, then you put on my glasses, so I can good. Yeah, that's it.
That is one question.
So if I minimize it, but how do I get it back up? Like, will it be, if I leave it here? I can't leave it here, right?
Sound like
You have to do, here's 3.
And will it be, that's why I said, will it be?
And then in right there.
It's basically.
Thank you.
It should be good.
The one over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know that I'm- These are all-
Maybe back, I've got this is a little bit more here. It should be.
Oh.
Just at least give them love. You can just. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see you pretty soon.
Yeah, we're just gonna watch to make sure that people come on. So that's all. Make sure people come on. I don't wanna cry. I didn't want to crowd you.
These ladies.
Make sure you guys- You might be having a special one. Now, even though it's there, even though I go bring your. Pass like some here. You gotta do it. Thank you. You need one.
That's-
Well,
There you go.
That is one.
It's all.
Somebody started taking money and run. That's what I'm saying.
So.
It's
Let me see that again.
And I'll pull my.
Oh, I'm sure I have it. If it didn't want. I hit the sign button. Is this what we call the gym?
Take your money and run.
Oh, yeah, that list.
But yeah, that's just Johnson County, that's not Jackson County.
That's what I'm afraid to say it's a little bad.
It's not gonna happen. Exactly. So that Johnson, so you go from Johnson County to Wyandotte County.
Yeah.
You should see the list of in Jackson County. There's builders I do work for, that are like. Because they're gonna tell me war stories. And I'm like, did we not do our home? I yelled at them at the last meeting. I said,
It was, I don't know how.
let's go on the ninth floor and bust out all the windows and just start going cash out the window, give everybody money.
I don't know.
You should read the opposition. Yep, this is other things.
I'm ready to have another.
He's like straight up to us. Oh, no, I just. Stuff like that. Anything post. It's straight up.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, are we ready to start, Irene?
Yeah, whenever you're ready. Yep, we've got this up, but no one's on yet, so we're good.
Yeah. That's right.
There's also some agendas going.
Just the agenda, kind of make stuff up as we go.
Hey, Dwayne, do you have the agendas down there?
Yeah. we're coming around.
Oh. I mean, let's. I've got three of them.
Okay, we're gonna get the meeting started since we're running a little bit late. You remember what the mission statement of our task force is?
Just watch her.
No, just a mission statement.
Follow the.
Yeah, being the mayor's government efficiency task force, we're to look at things that make things better by saving money, also to make things operate more efficiently. Things where we can identify what needs to be changed and what's not working and what's not working, and make suggestions. So the next thing on the agenda, the subcommittee, you want to talk about your subcommittee? I think you're the only one that, except down north, is new.
Sure, and I didn't mean to take over last month's meeting.
Oh, that's all right.
This is something really passionate for me, and I'll just keep this super short. That I've been working on the permitting stuff we talked about last month. Make it easier for homeowners to get their own permits and do their own.
Excuse me, may I say something?
Sure.
I'm new, I don't know everyone, can we introduce, so I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Phil, how you doing, sir? Phil, what's your name?
WD Young.
WD. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I'm Dwayne Beth. I'm the chairman of the task force. Mike Rich.
Scott Murray, former city planner here.
Jerry Johnson, fencing six.
Then I hopped. Citizen.
And city citizen.
Jesse Villarreal. And citizen.
Victor Harris, president, business owner.
Eleanor Jefferson.
Jeff County, legal.
Irene W. Mayor's Office.
WD Young, business owner, concerned citizen, that's been here all many years.
Yeah, Commissioner Lopez, business owner, concerned citizen as well.
Betty McGill, business owner.
Victor Webb, citizen.
Joe Ward, citizen.
Thank you.
Along with that, I'm glad you mentioned that. How many people here work for the UG?
Work.
Well, I mean, I get a check on.
How many were employed?
Employed by the UG.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not either, but 3, 4, 5,
I was.
just curious. Okay, just real quick, we're talking about, making a revision to building permits, allow people to get their own building permits to redo their own. It's okay. Or they would get it in, pull a permit, get it inspected like anybody else. I've checked around, other places do it. Leavenworth even. Leavenworth. If they can do it, we can do it. I've looked into new building permits issued over the last year, and they've decreased every year for the last 6 years, was only only record they had. When I was a city planner, we did 1 month, we did 1,000 a month. Next year, we did 130. It's 10. So what I'd like to do, I would like, if it's okay with everybody, write up a little draft I can bring next month. As far as a full plan, maybe how we can make revisions to the permitting system, not a total change, but just a slight deviation, where we maybe try something. I bet we love to just trying things. This needs to be forever. We have a 3-year pilot project or something, we try something. And that's, I'd like to bring, if that's all right, I'd like to bring something back just to share. And we can review it and maybe go forward. My main thing, and for me, I mean, efficiency is important, of course. Now, I've had tough times, you have to cut back on things, okay? You have tough time, maybe you cut back on Netflix, you cut back on this. The other option is you go out and make more money. And that's what I'm about with the UGs. Let's figure out a way for the UG to make more money. Every new house goes up, it's a money maker. The UG. A revised house increases the tax value, that's a money maker. And I'll end with this, one of my goals, I'd be glad to be a part of this in some way. If someone else is interested in this, I'm really interested. Let's make the unified government business friendly, more citizen friendly, and more friendly to making money.
No, I agree with what you're saying. So I brought it up to Dwayne the other day. I've been trying to get off with Gunner Hand and this other guy who got in that department, but they're I don't know why they're twisting these rules, but they're denying people for their fireworks stand because they don't want, we just can't park on gravel. Dude, you know how much money we just lost on sales tax? Because what they're doing is, the rule is, like when you own an open business, yes, you can't have gravel, you gotta have concrete or, but we're talking
You
about.
can't put it on gravel parking.
That's since 2022, I think it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but now we're talking existing business, which is Crane Hauling down on K32, and then he's a heavy hauler with low voice Pete's and all that. So they were just gonna put up their stand right there, which is, it's far enough away from any building, they have all this, but now they're twisting the rule and saying, well, you can't park. You can't have it because there's parking on gravel, when they just approved this other guy that has his on gravel every year at 55th and N. They gave him his permit, but they denied this guy. But I mean, this is existing, and I want to know why, and I wanted to ask Gunner and him and his buddies down there, like, hey, why are you killing us here? You know how much, we're just talking a week.
So you're saying that there's no uniformity in them passing out permits?
100%.
Oh,
And then
you
that
know.
one permit that they almost had kicked
Yeah.
out of here that was willing to come in and improve that area because of the citywide master plan. it didn't line up with parking street side versus behind the building, which wouldn't have worked for a laundromat anyway. They were gonna lose someone that was willing to put up a brand new needed business down there.
I'm reading this stuff
But
right
what's
here.
crazy
It's- yeah,
is they will make amendments on the spot or what they call administrative permissions and changes for things that they want to get
So you're saying that it's better to ask forgiveness than permission?
in their office.
So
yeah.
that's what it sounds like.
I mean,
Depends what.
Well, here's another thing, you can't just, but on a fireworks thing, you can't just throw it up.
Yeah.
And then if you're on fire marshal, you don't want him breathing.
Yeah, I.
Whether there's, the thing is too, is we're talking about a temporary permit thing and like, I read through the entire ordinance on the fireworks stands and stuff. I didn't see anything about parking. We do have regulations for parking for regular businesses and residents about improved service, but also there's exceptions. I think like the Speedway, for example, they park on the grass. But I think, am I not right, Jeff, that there's a city ordinance that specifically says the Speedway can park on the unimproved surface out there and stuff. But for like, you know, the ordinance for fireworks stands says you can have a tent, a fireproof tent for a fireworks stand. Well, you almost have to have gravel or dirt to put a tent up. You're not gonna drive tent stakes in a concrete parking lot, so. And especially if it's a temporary thing, you're not gonna drill holes through blacktop and drive tent stakes through there, but put them big tents up. So that might be something that has to be an ordinance revision or something for that. But yeah, Bill and I both looked through the fireworks ordinance and couldn't find anything about being on improved or unimproved surface or anything.
I mean, what they're doing is basically saying this is our world,
But yeah, we need standardized.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
In other words, you're trying to file a resolution.
Well, I need a resolution from that department saying you need to abide by the rules and not make it your own.
So this group can tell them what to do. So what we're
It's just,
No,
well, they know.
we can ask them.
No, yeah,
We can ask them.
No, we can ask them, but I mean, I've got the administrator supposed to be working on it. I haven't heard back from him.
no, our group for the new people here is we find these problems, think about a solution, and then we'll make recommendations to the mayor, who will take them to either a standing committee or the commission, or have Mr. Conway write up an ordinance thing or something to be changed. Something
Simply
like that.
put, what Mr. Lopez is saying here is the city is saying, no, we don't want your money.
Exactly.
well, it's
Who says that?
it's a
I mean, I know it's not as easy as what that sounds, but when people come here and they want to spend their money, they want to pay you to get a permit. They want to sell, make their money, and they come and hire me to do my thing, to hire you to build whatever. This is the part about being user friendly and business friendly.
And they're making it completely difficult. And
That's-
you know how much money that we're gonna lose?
That's part of the things that we can do as far as the efficiency thing is to make it user friendly, because there are double standards for things. There are things that work in one way, there's bad procedures, there's bad advice, there's all kinds of things. So those are the things we can identify.
So is there a caveat that can be written in when someone has a situation like that where you can say, okay, in this particular case, an exception or an amendment would need to be made, but it would need to go through this process.
Well,
There would need to be rather
that's
than
the whole-
a. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole fireworks stand. It's just a week. It's not permanent.
But it doesn't even sound like there's an exception there. It sounds like
Right.
you're granting other
That's what
people
I'm
the
saying.
permit to do the very thing
Thank you.
that you want to do, and they're saying you can't. And
But some
we're
kind of
talking, we're
exception
talking
is
government here, so who's
oversight.
putting a fireworks stand up close by if may lose money?
Well, who made that rule? How did that rule come?
But
into
how do you- I
It
guess
just-
my
it
thing
just
is,
popped up.
if we're keeping the oversight under the same department, you're not gonna get any further. So what I'm saying is have some kind of caveat in these cases where.
This
let's
is
just
more than
temporary.
one department.
Okay, so then is there an outside?
Well, here's the thing,
Committee
is
that can
it's the planning zone. They're the ones making that call, and that's why code has to abide by it. 'Cause I went to code first, and they're like, well, it's coming from gutter management. We can't, but-
That was the memo
Yeah,
from planning commission to the business license that said they can't have a business license because property's not on, not improved surface.
right, and it's already been a license placed
Yeah.
anyway. It's been in business for years. And they, like I said, they all have the equipment and have Peterbilt.
Okay.
And mobile.
Would Walmart put up with something like this? If this Eugene ran more like a business, we would find a way to make those things.
Well, if the entire government ran more like a business, it would be. You wouldn't get to ask for money the worse you perform. So it'd be the
And
opposite.
basically give you your credit card and we'll figure it out from here.
Okay, so we're going to get some more information about
Yeah, next month I'll bring a
your
draft.
subcommittee. Also, as far as what we discussed at the last meeting about the dollar permit for all the residential things. I talked to the mayor about that. He loved the idea. He also said to piggyback off that idea is to look at some more for single family residential developments to look at more like a tax subsidized or a tax, what do we call it? What's the word?
Subsidized, I think.
Incentive? Rebate?
Gary, what's the word for that?
I'm listening, I'm
Like,
trying
like
to.
You live there, what's the word?
Oh, tax abatement?
Tax abated development or whatever.
Oh.
A new development where,
It's an investment.
well, we're talking about the 94th.
Okay, that's Sunset Ridge.
Yeah, where,
TIF?
no, they're actually tax exempt for a certain period of time, aren't they? Rick?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 95% for 5 years.
Yeah, like 95% tax free for
Mhm.
so many years to get, and that's a great development there. And so he was talking about using that, piggybacking off the dollar building permits for residential building. With, if someone does a development like that for a tax abatement for so
Right.
many years to get someone to build affordable houses.
Right.
Versus
apartments, right?
Versus houses
Yeah.
that that bring static residents
Right.
to the community and then as they stay there a certain amount of time, then the taxes eventually will kick in, but those are things that can be.
Habitat works very similar.
Yeah,
But would that be for just single people coming in, like single and not investors? Because I know there's studies that have shown that Wyandotte County is like 70% plus investors.
Yeah.
So would it be for them to come in?
I would think that it would be for owner occupied.
Why not shape it that way?
If we would recommend it, that's what I would say. It would be, you had to get your tax abatement for however many years, 5 years or whatever. You have to buy it, you have to occupy it for that time. If you don't, the tax abatement ends when you leave.
What if we made the policy, just be part of that, is tax abatement or tax abatement program across the board cannot go over 5 years. 5 years is the maximum to get tax abatement. And or those more.
Now, what kind of taxes are we talking about?
I'm just talking like, well, like,
Property.
look at, I mean, Speedway. it's all
So
different.
in property taxes, you include school taxes. That puts the burden on the current residents when you abate property taxes.
Yeah.
Well, I know,
But if they're not-
they're so.
But if they're not getting tax money off that property already, then having 5 years wouldn't change anything.
Right.
Because you're not getting that money currently. So.
Well, I mean, I want to cease with the whole tax abatement regardless, because we're picking up the slack, and then as soon as their tax abatement's up, they're gone. And then, you know what I mean? So, hey.
That's a lot of the business thing, but
But I know,
that's,
I would
that's
rather
why.
just-
What about tax abatements regarding incentives to build new homes on land bank lots? That's a really huge incentive for that program.
Yeah, that's what we're discussing too.
Oh, okay.
Is lots like that, could be land bank lots, could be an area where someone wants to put a development. Places where we're not getting revenue off the property now. would be
Okay,
whatever.
I'm glad you said that. That's reminded me of something. If anybody ever goes to any of these tax sales, I think there's one
It's coming up. It's
coming up.
huge.
They're big, and I bet you there are lots on there from when I bought my first one 15 years ago, because the back taxes are so outrageous. $30,000-$40,000 of back taxes, and you have a shack of a place you have to tear down. You're dropping 50 grand. Nobody's gonna pay it. We need to work up a plan where we can work either with land bank or developers, especially affordable housing. Now, the city would say, guess what? We're never gonna see that money. The people are long dead. You build an affordable house here, we'll wipe out the taxes.
Well, yeah. And
The
one of
properties that don't get bid on at the tax sale do get transferred to the land bank.
But one of the things that we could do so we don't lose money, like give the property away and we lose money for 5 years where we don't get anything back, is maybe give the house a tax abatement and just tax them for the lot. Just pay the property tax as current on the lot and do a tax abatement on the development.
Okay, how about a combination? I like where that's going. How about a combination of a tax abatement when you come in and you wipe out? So if a house is 10 years behind taxes, we come up with a number, 10 years, whatever, or so much amount. Nobody's paid a dime on it that many times, that many years. If somebody comes in and wants to build on that lot, build an affordable house, even a non-affordable house, build a mansion, I don't care. That the city would say, hey, guess what? We're gonna just, you know, that delete. There's no longer $30,000 in back taxes.
The only way you're gonna get that property is if you pay the back tax.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
That's what, let's change it. Let's delete that. That's crushing.
Well, but the
Who's-
problem is until they actually.
We're already in the hole. Can we even afford to do that?
What about
We're not gonna get the money.
What about prorating the taxes up? You know, I mean, if the property's old and it's 20 years of back taxes, like you said, it's not moving, nobody's gonna touch it. What about prorating it? Instead of saying you owe 50,000 in back taxes for this property, we'll let it go for 10,000. At least we're getting something.
Could it be an either or, whichever's less, with
Yeah.
owed or the abatement?
Or you get an abatement, you stay there
Okay.
10 years,
Yeah,
the back tax is wiped out, something like.
all right. We're gonna move on now,
Okay.
because you have your own one for your next presentation next month.
And I welcome input. I mean, on that.
And anybody that wants to give him ideas and work with him to figure out something to put together, for example, I think we're getting close to being able to make some kind of recommendation.
I've been talking about this for years. Yeah.
Send to the mayor. Okay, we have a brief presentation by W.D. Young and Victor Harris. Scheduled on the agenda.
Yes. I'm Deputy Young, that's Victor Harris. This is Mr. Harris to start off.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elnora Jefferson, and these two guys put me to work. I have known both of them. They're awfully devoted to community service, to doing things in their neighborhoods and in the community. And in talking about some of these issues, I said I know exactly the place where you need to be heard. And I know the gentleman who chairs that committee. So here we are, Mr. Beth, and thank you very much for allowing us to do that. What you see on this PowerPoint presentation, the first page is that the things that we talked about, WD and Victor identified 6 items that negatively impact one or more of the 4 priority areas that the UG Board of Commissioners decided to tackle in 2024. So on page 1, you see the 4, and if you turn the page, then there are the other 2. And at this point, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Mr. Harris, who will take you through this PowerPoint presentation and hopefully enjoy it.
I have to stand sitting down
It's the, I'm the kind of person like to move around and talk.
Same here.
If I can get it to come on, you guys can hear it. And I already know, he made a comment about it, but anyway, Victor Harris, I'm a resident here in Wyandotte County, been here all my life, other than going to the military and coming back. So I've been here and seen the changes in this city. Ordinance are being passed, and one of the start out with this rooster things. Ordinance passed that being broke. And some said, okay, we like to have chickens, something. Why did the UNG pass the ordinance codes that said chickens, roosters were not allowed in the area because of the noise they make, but you could have X amount of chickens. That's what it is. That the codes and whoever is on control stay with that and not break it. Right now, we have roosters in the neighborhood. I've got 2 across the street from me. They don't just make noise in the morning. They make it in the morning. They make it at noon. They make it in the evening. They make it at night. And it's constant. The residents won't do anything. When I talk to codes said they pass it on to their supervisor. The supervisor said that's animal control. I go to animal control tells me you need to go to the neighborhood and find out where the roosters come from. You come back and let us know because we don't have the manpower. That's not my job. And I'm not going to do that. But they'll run around. So somebody need to do something about it because it's an ordinance in code says no roosters allowed. Somebody need to do something about it. I am a commercial truck driver, been driving trucks. I know the policies. I know about how to ride the truck. We have 3 major areas inside of Fairfax. We got the Lucian Club, we got Riverside, and we got I-5. I-5, I've been told by one of the KDOT that bridge is not planned on being nothing done to it until 2026. So therefore, the trucks are doing, they're coming in our residence. They're coming down Quindaro. Some will get lost. Look at some appreciation. One airline broke, and when the airline breaks, that means the truck can't operate because it runs by air. Airline broke, so he was stuck on eastbound of Quindaro, had to stay in the middle street until pilot came and fixed it. Guys are parking up on the curbs. Our curbs and sidewalks, this is in the northeast area. I've been right. Curbs and sidewalks, you already know what bad it is. And that's one of the big things that the residents said. We need curbs and sidewalks. So then you got an 80,000-pound truck loaded that's sitting up on the curb and the sidewalks because he can't park in the street because it's not supposed to be in the resident anyway. So you got box trucks that's coming up. I don't know, and know for a fact that it's a code violation. There's some commissioners that I know of that was on the board when Commissioner, I'll call her name, Commissioner McGill voted what gentleman that was on call with tow truck. And he wanted to bring that tow truck to his house. Policy was posted, there's no commercial vehicles in it. And the entire board of commissioners voted that truck would not come in that residence. It was taken out. As I was the president of OCP, I've got a community police officer that went by the codes and made a dump truck move out here. So the code on these large trucks in the residential area is the law. Commission voted for it, but it's getting out of control. It's going to be a long run where the taxpayers are going to replace the sidewalks, we're going to replace the curbs, we're going to replace the street. When you look up and see parallel an oversized truck, that's 100,000 pounds more going down parallel on our streets that's already tore up. Parallel is not going to be cheap and easy to repair. That's something that's going to happen sooner or later. I just think that somebody needs to come up with a solution. We need to get these trucks out of by the houses, tell them they can't park them there any longer. And some said, well, this is the guy's livelihood. I understand. I drove trucks. I parked down in Fairfax in the terminal. When I did park down there, I was parked driving Swift. I parked my truck at Swift. They got I-70 parking place. They can go out there and park. You do not have to park that truck in a residential area. And then you got guys putting trailers up that's got loaded shingles and all kinds of stuff that you look at the presentation, sitting up on the curbs and the sidewalks. If they park in the street, school buses can't make turns proper because of that. It's an issue and needs to be taken care of. It's getting out of control. I'm working this, but
You have a suggestion for that?
yes. Number one, someone needs to go, and again, I'm gonna figure out where's codes and where's communication. But we need to get them on board where they go by. Number one, inform the people. It's a brochure that you can pick up out there, codes and tell them that they can't park here. Let them know first. If they don't move it then, look at the side of the truck, contact the company. If they don't do it, then to it. But at least give them a chance to say, okay, I'm not supposed to do this, and you have something that's just up and get it, because it is his livelihood. But maybe a lot of people that don't know the rules and regulations. So they just go about whatever they see somebody else do. So that's my favorite, is just contact them, contact the company, if they don't third time tow the truck, and I'm sure the company is not gonna want that truck towed. Another thing on the handicap accessories. They're running through the northeast area of handicap accessories. I guess they try to spend that money up and they don't care what they're leaving behind. They come in, they tear up our streets. I got one in front of my house that shouldn't have been there. They tear up the streets, they put the concrete handicap accessories down, and then they go. But that big hole of concrete with the asphalt was totally still there. And mine's been like for 3 weeks. But 27th Street, they did it, tore it up, put it in, and in 2 days the concrete was fixed. Why is that a double standard in certain parts of the city? And I feel like the northeast area is not getting their fair justice in none of this. The trucks are not parked out west. They're not tearing up those sidewalks and doing what they're doing. I just feel like, I'm going to say, this is my opinion, that the northeast area is not getting fair treatment. But we're paying taxes like they're, but we're not getting treated right.
What do you mean, having, you said handicap?
The handicap accessory, they put them things up like.
What do you mean by accessory?
Where they got the handicap.
Oh, okay.
They
They're just not cleaning up their mess.
They clean the streets up, they put the accessory in,
Right.
and then they go.
With the
To the
little
next.
dots on it.
So now you ride down.
Okay, so they put it in, but they're not cleaning up their mess, right?
No.
You go, I'm sure you're seeing yellow or orange cones everywhere because they kind of keep you from getting run off into the ditch.
Well, here's another thing too. I do know that they have McEnany come and their contract, they contract McEnany to come and asphalt that, and I know they're on backlog.
They tearing them up as fast as they can fix. They're tearing them up. The streets look hard.
So it's just open and waiting for asphalt.
Yes, but and on another solution that I think my time is up, I'd like to get each one of y'all, and I will get the vehicle that you ride around in that neighborhood. That you-
No, I'm right with you.
I
And
can show you, but I can tell you.
that whole truck thing, like Snyder has their own hub. There's 2 or 3 of them around here. Why do you park it? But here's another thing is when you were saying maybe they don't know the rules. They're professional truck drivers. They know the rules.
They don't care.
That's in their CDL handbook when they get their tag.
So they do it.
I have a class A, I know that.
And the private citizen shouldn't have to.
Oh,
Hey,
thank you.
please move.
Thank you.
I wouldn't feel safe doing that. I don't know them, you know.
But if you look again, it's on certain areas. I've talked to an individual out west.
I mean, I feel sorry for them too. Yes, it's like we live at the same time. Snyder has a hub. They have a hub. They can drop that, they can, and Uber home.
My resident tell you.
It's food trucks.
We have some answers for that.
2 trucks.
Never.
Yeah, there's another one in front of it.
Not the first truck in, I didn't buy it, I didn't bring the trailer, my resident, the entire 11.
I know we're getting the asphalt business.
We
and
never
they're gonna
bought
build
that
it.
truck in my neighborhood.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
All right.
I might say too, before WD starts that, you'll see on each of these sheets here on the PowerPoint, you'll see exactly the problem. You'll see what we've identified the problems causing. You'll see the impact to the commissioner priorities, and I've labeled them 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then finally, a solution. It may not be the ultimate solution, but it is a solution. So that's the content of these slides. You did?
Very good.
On the rooster situation, number 1, roosters are crowing at night because there's predators. Number 2, it's your pellet gun and just.
Roosters taste like chicken.
I'm gonna take care of the neighborhood.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
But when you tell, you go to animal control, and animal control tell you to go find out where the chicken come
I
from,
don't even
because
call
we
it.
don't have the manpower to come do it. That's not my job. So.
And they don't. We have dogs dumped on a regular basis, dogs injured, dumped, puppies, everything on our road, and they won't, it's pretty much our problem.
Okay.
It's our problem.
Deputy Young, my name, I'm from Kansas City, I left when college, came back. The city still has, and that's like it got worse. I live in the northeast area, I build in the northeast area, and they wonder why we don't have enough people living down here, we don't all do nothing down here. Streets are dirty, streets, so I mean, right now, we got a problem with illegal matches and trash we put out. Now, I got the contract with the city that they had with the dump truck, people coming around picking the truck. I guess that was in death bombs. And I guess we had waste management took over. But when they came with this thing about bed bugs in the mattress put on the curb, it put us in a shock because we were not used to that, of somebody telling us we got to wrap it in plastic. Now, I don't know if you got the message. I didn't never get the message. The only way I found out, I kept wondering why they was not picking up mattresses. You got the rabbit and plastic.
Oh, that's
The bed bugs. That's why we see that everywhere.
They always take my mattress.
No. So I'm saying, the city didn't tell no one and Waste Management didn't tell no one, so they just put it on the city, put it on us. And here the people pick trash, say, I'm not picking up because it's not wrapped. What do you mean wrapped? You got to put it in plastic. Now, who has a king size plastic to put in the mattress? You know what I'm trying to say? But they'll pick up a sofa. So most people sleep on the sofas, you know? So the bed bugs is there. So that's no, to me, that wasn't a good excuse. Now they came out with the toilets. You got to tear the toilet apart, the top from the bottom. If you leave the toilet out front, they will not take it. But we, the city, we let Deaf and Bound Waste Management tell us what we should have been doing, and they should have, because the contract was good to 2025. So we let them get away with this. And this picker up is the one to work on the back of the truck. They are so demanding to say, no, you can't do it. And the reason I got upset because there was two people that had arches, and they had done the best they could to get this plastic when they pinned it on there with needles. And then the truck driver said, we're not picking up. Why? Because it's not wrapped in plastic completely. I looked at him, I said, boy, you kidding me? I said, I'll put it on there. He got mad, but I said, you can call whoever you want, but I'm throwing it on there because I could not see that mattress sitting there because it wasn't wrapped properly. Now, to me, either the city need to send everybody's bags out, or definitely I'm going to come up with these bags that they want us to put this mattress in. And to me, these trucks to get there everywhere. If you look at these pictures right here, this is 3rd Boswell and all this trash right here. This was a stolen truck that was stolen from Minnesota, came all the way down to Kansas City, Missouri. Then somebody stole it from Kansas City, Missouri, and brought it over here and pulled it up there on 3rd and it's been there. I called the police and they said, well, we don't know what to do with it. I said, call the number on the side of the truck. They act like they couldn't call the number on the side of the truck. You know what I'm trying to say? I called the fellow and said, hey man, your truck is here. Somebody who stole it from Missouri. And you look at all this trash. Now the trash did not come here from the dump, but you look at all this trash. This is 3rd and Boswell. And I've been talking to the city for us to put up different kinds of signs of saying illegal dumping. We've been trying to get cameras down there. Even our group was going to pay for it. And they always found a reason to back out putting cameras. I cannot be out there 24/7 trying to find out who's dumping all this trash out. And then when you ask the police officers to come out and take a look, well, what am I looking at? Maybe you can find some address on there. I don't think I should be have to go through that, but it's not happening. To me, I just don't think the city is doing what they should. And let me get on the city workers. Oh my gosh. I don't think that they're doing their job now. Somebody need to get them a pep talk. Because anytime you see a street where you're going down and playing the streets, and other fellows got his feet cocked up on the steering wheel asleep, and he's going around branches, rocks, and everything's on the curbside, he should be out front picking this up. The supervisors are not seeing what the workers are doing. And I have been talking to them over and over. There's got to be some kind of work plan that the supervisor signs off and say, I'm gonna see you out to a job. When you get through with the job, I'm gonna sign off on it. He needs to go look and see what his employees, because they are being so lackadaisical about doing anything. If they ain't looking at you, I had one of the supervisors to tell him that they need to be picking up the limbs off the side of where it fell. As soon as the supervisor left, he got his butt up on the truck and sit down. Then he looked for the truck on the truck. When the supervisor go up, he jumps back off and act like he been working all day. This needs to change because they have things. They have changed the whole. It's like the police officers don't care. Now I have talked to the police officer. He tell me, well, they got a livelihood and they can't find what's the place. Sir, I didn't choose that. They chose they want to be a truck driver. But your job is to go out to issue a ticket or ask them to remove it. Now, how would it be for me to knock on the door and say, sir, can you move your truck? He gonna cuss me out or gonna threaten me. That is not my job. Everybody's passed the buck here. Nobody wants to do it. And at 311, I feel sorry for them. Ben can't do it all. But it's horrible, and then, there's so much red tape to try to get anything done around here. Have I missed anything? Tell me, Eleanor.
No, I think you got it. You touched on it all.
Have I touched?
I
think some change.
On the mattress thing, I throw it out and set a can of off out there next to it for them.
No, but that mattress gonna sit there. What's gonna happen?
You can get a mattress cover from the U-Haul for about $1.50.
But the thing is, who's gonna go get $1.50 to go get the
I've
mattress.
never had that issue.
I put back.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
I mean,
But everybody
if
don't
you
know
guys
that.
think about the people who are actually picking up those items and have to return home to their families, and they're potentially bringing that bacteria and those bed bugs and things as they hop on clothing, they hop onto their shoes, and then they have to go home with them. They have to ride in the trucks with them. We have a huge shortage with people not wanting to work in those positions. It's not really because it doesn't pay well, but it's because of those kind of things that they have to take home with them that results in their personal they can't just leave their work at home when you bring in bed bugs to your whole house. And
What's the
so,
difference of the mattress?
I think the issue here isn't picking up mattresses, it's
People don't
changing,
wanna work.
excuse me, it's changing policies and not informing.
Not informing the public.
yeah,
There's
and I
doctors
totally
that-
agree with that. That was
Well,
a
excuse
poor
me, but there-
transition.
There are doctors and nurses that deal with this isolation patients every day and they go home to their families. And that's a little bit more
What's the
serious. I
difference
would say,
in
than
picking up a
someone-
mattress? I mean, a
Right,
sofa.
but they
sofa
scrub
or a
out and they
chair.
have they scrub out though. They have scrub out, they have sanitization and things like that, which
Actually, bed bugs is the least of their concerns. Did you know how bad the seat ticks are right now? You can
Yes,
walk down
I
the
do.
street and you'll have 20 seat ticks on
Okay,
you.
The problem with the mattresses are, if you can't get it picked up in front of your house, then you go dump it behind my house, and
Yeah,
then the
and that-
city
yeah.
comes and picks it up.
Right.
yeah, somebody's
Right.
gonna
And
have
the
to
city,
deal
so the
with it.
city's gonna be left to pick it up.
Somebody that doesn't get paid is gonna have to deal with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, so I can bring it back for $25, so right down the street, just throw it back out. And he made $25.
Well, that's so much easier.
Okay.
Done.
We can totally.
It's a business.
Do we have any questions that they can answer? We have lots of questions.
I would thought,
Yes, sir.
you said you were a private contractor?
No,
All right,
I'm a businessman. He's
I'm
from.
a lawn care and snow removal.
Okay. What if the UG hired you over the weekend, or some people like you, to go out and pick up those mattresses?
I have told them, if they pay me $10 mattress, I can pick up 50 mattresses every day.
There you go.
Well, if-
Across the whole metro.
You'd risk bed bugs for that?
It wouldn't bother me. What's the difference in a sofa picking up?
This is all tied into the big problem that I want to address as our number one issue. As far as what the commission has identified as a problem and what we identified as a problem when we did our listening tours around the entire county. The number one complaint was not crime, gunshots, or anything else. The number one complaint was code
The chart.
and trash. And I can tell you for a fact, I sympathize with you guys, but your area is not exclusive in being picked on.
No,
2 weeks ago, I was driving down K 32 and caught somebody dumping a load of tires on K 32 down there, an entire truckload of tires. And these were not residential tires that from his house. These were commercial truck tires, tires that have obviously come from a tire factory because they were cut off the rims. And he was dumping them and throwing them over the hill down there. And I got his tag number and stuff, and he's taken care of. But as far as the trash service, the dumping and stuff like that, waste management is a problem. I had my trash didn't get picked up for 4 weeks, and I called them. 311's a problem. We discussed that last time. You call 311 and you get a recording or you get somebody that is going to call you back and you never get anything back. And I think we need to figure out some way back to the action center where when you call in, you have some kind of response back over a certain amount of time.
You
Whoever.
can't call waste management now. They want out to sit.
Right, exactly. And when my wife called in, they got 311. They said, well, you report it once. You can only report it once. You can't call back no more. That was a mistake. You don't tell my wife that. Right, Victor? And this is a problem, and this is the thing we need to set a priority to discuss. As far as the semi trucks, that's not just Northeast problem also. Last week, we had a semi truck in a neighborhood, and part of it is you're right, is lack of whether it's education with the people that are supposed to enforce these things or lack enforcement. But we had a semi truck that was parking in a residential area with a really highly active neighborhood group. That they were habitually parking there. And they called the police, and the police response was to tell them to go get a special use permit so they could park their semi truck there. Now this was a failure of the, because when I was working, if I'd made that call, Victor would have had me in the office saying you didn't do right. And so they went to get a special use permit. They were denied that because there's two reasons. Is one is not only is it a code violation to park or drive a semi truck in a residential area, it's also a traffic ordinance violation. So there's actually two laws that prohibit certain trucks and certain size trucks to be operated or parked in a residential area. Then it recurred again this last week, and the neighborhood group called the police, and they had the thing from the city council that said, you know, you can't park your semi truck there anymore. Your permit was denied. And the officer said, well, you're interfering with this guy's livelihood. And you know, we're not going to do anything, you know. And so they said, well, let me talk to my nephew, Major so-and-so. And they said, oh, well, we'll write him a ticket. But this is, my point is, this is not just, I know you feel it's an isolated problem, but it's a problem throughout the entire community. You probably have more of an issue with your area than some others do.
Because we close to Fairfax.
Yeah, but it's a widespread.
These are weekend drivers. These are people who live here
and what I
decide to become a truck driver.
and what I said before, when I addressed this issue one other time, we have a 24-hour, 365-day city. We have too many departments that are 9 to 5 departments that are supposed to be addressing these issues that happen in our 24-hour city. And if it happens after 5 o'clock to them, they didn't see it, it didn't happen.
I'd rather
Well,
my tax dollars pay overtime for those people
No.
to stay in the office or hire a night staff then. So how do we reallocate
Well,
They need
wasted funds on
weekend
things like that?
code enforcement.
Where there's backup call center or, you know?
But they know 9 to 5, they know what to do.
yeah,
Just as an offer, suggestion, because I don't know, I was on the police department for almost 30 years. And what I can tell you is this, I know from working in divisions with officers, the way the police department was set up before, we have a traffic unit. And then outside of our traffic unit, we have officers that respond to calls, et cetera. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not in the traffic unit specifically, you're not as comfortable with the traffic citations and knowing all of the ordinances pertaining to, you know, vehicles that should not be on the street, such as these semis, et cetera. So you wouldn't be comfortable, you wouldn't necessarily know how to write the ticket, so you would pretty much avoid it altogether. I would think that one of the things that we could do, which should be a simple fix, is because we have this issue in certain parts of town, then there should be a dedicated effort to go to Central Patrol Division, whether it's the night shift or the supervisors or whatever, and make sure they have a clear-cut understanding of the traffic regulations, the proper citations to issue, so that your officers, when they're out patrolling and they see this, they're not having to ask questions or wonder what if or look something up. I know what to do. I know what to write, and I'll handle it while I'm here. Because I know just as well as these guys do, working on the midnight shift. Yeah, it might be busy. You have your peak times during certain parts of the day. But if these trucks are parking overnight, then I know that these officers, when they're doing their patrol duties, instead of just driving by the semi, because I really don't know, I do know I've been educated, and I even know what citation to write. So I'm not going to just drive by it, I'm going to enforce it.
Make it easier for them to enforce.
If you know what you're doing and you feel confident, you'll take action. But if you don't, then you'll just kind of like pass by.
Part of that is an education.
Okay, another thing they need to be addressing is these trailers that leave in with loaded goods on it or trash on it. They'll, you know, I mean, there's a house at 12th and Haskell. You go by this house after 4 o'clock, you'll see everybody coming from work. There's 15 of them living in 2 houses. There's 10 cars down there, and each one of them have a truck, and each one there's about 5 dump trucks. They take the land bank land next door to them and park the trucks up in there and some of those trailers, and the rest they'll leave on the street. So we got a house with damn near 15 people living in, and everybody's going to different jobs, but each one got a trailer. Can you imagine how many is on this street? Or how many vehicles on the street? And they got them all up in 2 yards, and they fix the cars right in the front yard. I mean, you get cold and go back there, like, okay, my hands are tied, I can only do so much. I can see it.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have
So I'm
some?
saying, and also that this is on a safety issue. With the 18 wheelers, they have placards on the side. Those placards can tell you almost what's inside that truck. And they could be some valuables.
Explosives,
Well, you don't know. The placards will tell the story on that. Well, that guy's taking his break, his 48-hour break, because that's what they usually take with the trailer. And look at those placards and see. You could have some explosive, you could have corrosion, you could have anything sitting in a residential area.
Can we all agree that we know these are all problems? That these are all serious problems. What we probably want to avoid with some things is things roll downhill, and what happens is like Vicar is 100% aware when nobody knows how to address these code violations. Nobody knows what to do when a semi truck is parked in a residential area at 9 o'clock at night, or a rooster is crowing and wakes you up at 6 o'clock in the morning. What is the solution, Victor? They call community policing. And it rolls downhill to there, which actually is not what should be done. Actually, people that work in these departments whose responsibility to handle these things need to be accountable, and they need to do their job. Whether we need to get people back to work off their COVID Zoom stuff or not, I don't know. I don't know what the percentage is of that. I know it's a lot cheaper to hire a code officer to work at night to go around and proactively address these problems than it is to hire or send a policeman to go write somebody a ticket for parking a semi truck in a neighborhood. And maybe what we need to do for the next meeting is to get Greg Talkin or somebody from code enforcement to come here and listen to what.
Well, tell us what they need to operate more efficiently.
Yeah,
Instead of
because
confuse them,
the-
say,
Yes.
what do you
The
need?
first excuse is I don't have money and the manpower to do these things and stuff, and that has to, we have to get away from that canned excuse. They're doing a budget hearing today and stuff, and so maybe we, there needs to be a better allocation of manpower budgeting.
Could this be one solution? They got to get tags for these. Could there be a question on them when you get the tags? Where are you parking this vehicle? Give us a location. Could that be added? You should say it, no.
Getting you past that down.
Down to what?
But to his point, and how can we bring in?
The trucks are a simple thing.
But how can we
have
bring
two
in revenue
ordinances
from
against
this? Can there be a, like, when you're warning that you're about to be towed and you're on the side of the highway, you have the neon sticker on there? Do you get one neon sticker that says, this is your fine, and we have your company info. If you don't move,
Yeah,
then you
there
get
you
the
go.
fine, the money
There-
comes into the
There
city.
you go. That
I
makes
mean, you get
sense.
24
So in
hours.
other words, go and slap
Whatever.
a sticker in the front of it.
Like the timestamp.
Sticker and a fine.
I mean, it's essentially a meter maid job.
Some of these things are,
What you're talking about has been in place for 15 years. Stickers for vehicles, put it, wherever you wanted, all of that. Code enforcement is responsible for that. and community policing can do it also. And anytime code enforcement gets somewhere where they're having trouble getting enforcement, we call community policing because they're supposed to be the people who take care of it and take care of you so you don't get killed. I know a little bit about it. As a commander of the police department, I spent days talking to officers about how to do things, and what to do. I said, we're gonna clean this mess up. So every day, you go out and do something for the good of the community, which means not write a speeding ticket. It means tow a car off the street. It means get a car off private property and all of that. There's an SOP that takes care of all these issues in code enforcement. And I know that because my wife wrote it over 15 years ago. Biggest problem? No supervision, no work. We still have people sitting at home with a computer. I'm sorry, this is government. We don't sit at home with our computers and wait for somebody to maybe call us. If everything is a response versus proactivity, we'll never, ever catch up and get the exact things these gentlemen are talking about done.
So I
It's
think
just not gonna happen.
you're getting to the root then. We keep getting to like an even deeper root on each one of these
Well,
problems.
money was another thing that I heard a lot of. Money, you're not gonna make it.
And one of the things also is, some of these things are no quick solution as far as putting stickers on a truck and towing it, because Mr. Conway would tell you, these are procedures that came about from legal decisions about seizing property and adjudication of these things. You can't just, that's why when you put a sticker on a car, you have to give so much notice. They have to send out registered mail to the person that says we're gonna tow the car. You have to go through a procedure to do that. So, but the thing is, these things have happened because things have not happened. People have not done their job, so it's become a problem that we're trying to catch up to speed on. So we're not addressing one thing that just happens to be some miscreant that has infected a neighborhood. These are things that have happened to become habit.
Okay, so on to that point, atomic habits, then let's change some of those habits. So it's a very easy policy, as many corporations and companies have done throughout the United States now, is everyone needs to be in the office 4 out of 5 days a week. What's so hard about that? Why can't the planning and zoning commission all be in person?
Yeah.
Why can't the commission all be in person?
Government's 5 days a week.
Well, but I'm
That's
just
the real
saying, for
problem.
instance, but it's all rooted in the same problems. It's people's lack of accountability and their lack of wanting to work. When I was in pharmaceutical sales, I had to get 10 signatures every day from doctors in different parts of the city. There was a checks and balances of whether or not I was doing my job. So where is that here?
So you're saying the clowns are running the service?
But I'm
yeah.
saying, that's not a hard, that's
A big
not a hard policy to change. COVID's over.
A big part of our government is 7 days a week, or should be 7 days a week.
But you know what
Because
I'm saying?
we have, like I said, a 9 to 5 government. We have a 24-hour city. And in a lot of cases, we have 2 economies also. We have an economy where people work and they pay taxes, and they follow the rules. And we have an economy that works on a cash and carry basis and
But
don't
we're
pay
here to improve
any
efficiency, so
taxes.
why can't we expect that? Why can't we expect the people whose salaries we pay with our tax dollars to be in the office?
We pay our
That doesn't
tax,
seem like a hard fix.
we pay our tax dollars to the UG and to the city to have these codes and these laws enforced,
Right,
but they're not.
right.
They're not, it's not
But if those
happened in
people,
years.
but if the reason for that is
So-
because there's people sitting behind their computer and waiting for a call that forces them. to
It's not
come out.
only that,
And it
it's
was-
the people above these police officers who aren't gonna do anything when they do.
But I
get
guess
the
I'm just focusing on what's going on here.
Well,
Like, what we're here for is to come up with a solution. We have a lot of gripes and a lot of reasoning. So then what are things that we can make change on?
What's the base? What's the
The
base?
first thing we quit worrying about is money. I worked for the city for 35 years. we never had enough money. We were
And never will.
always short of people. But you get your priorities and you work on those, and after you've worked your priorities, then you start into the smaller things. But I can tell you, and the reason the police department is tagged for so much is the fact that government efficiency led to a lot of that. Animal control was the worst in the whole Midwest.
Still is.
So but they gave it to the police department years back, had a police commander in charge. They straightened it up. Now it's slowly going back to civilian, although still under the control of the police department. They do a good job now compared to what it used to be.
No, if it took them 11 weeks to come out and see if it was a dead human or a dead dog in the bag wrapped up, something's wrong with that.
Yeah.
I called code enforcement and police. Then I called animal control. Nobody would come out there and unwrap to see what it was. It was stinking so bad, but everybody had excuses, so we don't have time.
We are so far behind on getting things addressed and issues solved. And it's because of lack of proactivity and lack of taking care of problems when they come up. Just like the semi truck I just told you about that was parked in the neighborhood. That issue took 3 months to go through the process with neighbors coming to commission meetings and testifying. 3 months for one semi truck. We can't do that in every neighborhood. This is one semi truck that could have been solved because somebody didn't have the nerve to tell them, no, you can't do this. So they passed it off, we'll get a permit and then do this, and then it keeps getting shoved off. And so these are the issues we can't dictate to these departments how they're gonna handle their personnel, but we can try to find a solution where we can recommend some more proactivity.
Maybe we could learn from people like Prairie Roland Park and Lenexa, because they don't have their problems like we got.
Well, why is it with code enforcement that
You know,
code enforcement is a problem,
because
but why is it if you drive down K-32 and it looks like you're driving through in between a city dump? How many code enforcement people drive through there?
they
How many city employees drive down that road and see it and say, well, nobody's calling it in, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, employees ride down, see a child in the middle of the street, won't stop the truck to pick up, go around and keep going. Then I'm looking like, now why would I have to call in? Can you come pick up a child?
These are things that I think, and that's why I think we need to get somebody from code enforcement. Do you think?
I agree.
And
That's a good start.
have them come and we can express our frustration with them.
But you know what we don't hear?
Huh?
Short of help. We don't have enough manpower.
start
Well, that's
giving
no
tickets,
excuse.
spend more money and hire more people.
Exactly, and that's
What
what,
they say they hire, they 6 short.
that's what we need to, it's no excuse. You have the manpower, you have a budget, you figure out how to make it work.
I called in one time about a problem and the lady actually said to me, she says, ma'am, I don't understand why you're calling on your neighbors. And I said, well, I'm obviously doing your job. Now I need somebody to come out here. She said, well, it's COVID and we can't come out. I said, I'll walk 6 feet away from your car and
Yeah.
point things out.
COVID was
She's
a
like, yeah, and her baby was crying, her dog was barking, and I was hung up on.
Yeah, COVID was an
So I got
excuse
rain.
to not to do anything, and we have not recovered
Well,
from
getting people
COVID
back
yet.
in the office and back in the commission chambers would be a good start.
It's all the same
Okay,
people.
so what we want to do is to move on because we're running past time. And I know Gary, if it's an hour meeting, he's gonna look at his watch and he gets antsy. So what we need to do is I will try and get somebody from code enforcement to come and at our next meeting and, you know, I'll warn them, we don't want the typical lip service excuse, well, I don't have the manpower or money. We want to figure out some kind of solution for you tell us what you can do now with the people you have. And then we can, if we have to make recommendations that the mayor or somebody can take to the budget committee and say, hey, you know, we need to expand this. If they're not doing their job, get rid of it, save that money. You know, so that's the thing, that we can't have things in limbo and say, well, we can't do our job because we don't have the money and manpower, then eliminate the department. It's simple and save that money.
One man, 24 hours, one man working at night to take care of a lot.
Okay, there's somebody who works for this government other than two. I think they need to work on weekends.
Yeah,
That's the real problem.
I'll take some nice weekends and one man, 2 men. And you know what? If they get the call, they go out, they do it.
Okay, so as we're gonna do with this recommendation from the committee, these were the priorities that commissions set, and so we'll focus on number 3, since that kind of addresses the community
So, yeah.
services that with the code enforcement and those kinds of things. And so, that's something we could, yeah, we have your update for the next meeting, and we'll try to get somebody from code enforcement and give us, if we hear from them what their excuses are for not doing things, then they should also have a solution that we can kind of fine tune maybe and make a recommendation to the mayor about what we can do to enhance that. And I think they need to have at least an evening.
Yeah.
Code enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I spoke to him last week about that, and he told me that's never been talked about, having a part-time evening on the weekends. They said they never had that.
doesn't need to be part-time, it can be a full-time.
Yes, no, it'd be that, but I told, give me a part-time job. I said, I'll clean it up.
You mean all these years they never thought about having somebody work these things? All these years they never thought about that. I know, they have cars, put them on call. If you have something, call them out. So, you know, it's, or why are you gonna pay a $50,000 a year, whatever the price is for a policeman now to go pick a call that the code enforcement should be handling.
I appreciate y'all PowerPoint slide. That was good.
That was very good.
You not only came up with a problem, but you also had suggestions for solutions. That's what we need. You know, everybody can say something's wrong. When you come up and you say, hey, we have this problem, here's a suggestion on how to solve it. That works. That gets everything started. But thank you for that. That was
Thank you, thank you. And I thank the young lady that got us there.
Yeah.
There's no more.
All right, if you don't have anything else to complain about, I should have said.
A whole lot.
That's great.